Obviously, Michael's out. Carter, Shep is limited with his elbow. CJ, we're limiting him. He's second half of the season, just trying to take care of his body. And then Shaq lost him with the wrist.
Could you just explain the decision-making on Zach, the final stages, and getting him back out there?
Yeah, it's like we said, when he got fully healthy, we'd make a decision, and the decision was most likely going to be that he's back in there. And so as soon as we got clearance that he was fully healthy and he was ready to roll and he was good mentally, we're good. We're good with the decision.
On his first game back, going against the Texans, what do you want to see from him?
It's just we felt like he was getting better throughout the first half of the year. The time it took him to get comfortable in the game was getting quicker. I've said this before. In Carolina, it took the second half, and then as you get through all the way to the New England game when he got injured, that second drive he gets a field goal range in the first quarter. The next drive we get to the 1 yard line, he gets hurt. So it's just continue getting comfortable earlier in the games and let his athleticism take over and his arm talent take over because he is a talented young man. So just step up, get better, and take it one play at a time.
You guys talked a lot about how you felt him watching was going to benefit him once he got back out there. In what ways do you think that'll be the case now that he is going to return to the field?
Obviously we'll see, but anytime you have a chance to watch something through the lens of another player or a teammate, especially seeing it through Mike and then Josh and then Joe, and got to see Joe through a week of preparation and Mike through a week of preparation, I think it's very beneficial. How he's able to interpret it all, I really think only he can answer that, but I think there's always tremendous value in that.
Is there one thing specifically you want to see from him moving forward here?
Continue to get better. He is such a young man, and playing quarterback in this league as a rookie is very hard. And he had progressively been getting better. Would love to see him start where he left off and continue to build from there. But the good thing is the surrounding talent around him has gotten a lot better since over the last 4 weeks. The receivers are playing faster. The O-line's protecting very well. The backs have been running very well. So to slip right in and understand that the players around him have elevated, and so hopefully he can take advantage of it.
How did he look last week for the last 2 weeks running the practice, scout team?
He did good. I mean, it's always a little bit difficult to run a show team because, it might say a protection on there, and so which tells you might not be hot, and then all of a sudden you have a free runner, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with it? But, the one thing we wanted to see in practice was just to see the confidence and the need to be able to plant, throw, and do all the different things that he does. And, he scrambled some, he showed some good things. So he did a good job over the last couple of weeks.
Do you have to still talk to him, like we go back weeks when you talk about boring football? Some of the success that when he was out was going to the checkdowns. Do you still have to talk to him about that stuff? Do you think he understands that better now?
I think he sees that it can be effective. I think you're always going to have to talk about it. I mean, shoot, even with Mike and even Joe in the game, it was like, hey, it's okay. You can, progress. Get rid of the ball. Get to your check down. You don't have to wait all the time. So I think that's just something that you're always going to be taught. There's such a balance because you don't, like I said, you don't want Charlie check down, right? You don't want a guy that's just going to look for the check down every time. One of his super strengths is that he can push the ball downfield and get it to any part of the football field at any time. So, but there is balance, and over the last 4 weeks, I think our offense is one of the top 5 units in football in terms of yards and getting themselves in the field goal range and with opportunities to put up points. And so for him, just to understand that there are different ways to move the offense and to be able to do it in a style that's best for him.
To follow up on that, when you talk about the boring football, Texans, they play a lot of cover 2, so obviously it's going to force you to kind of take what they give you. So how much of a challenge would that be for him to balance that, just to operate in that balancing act? Yeah,
obviously Lovey, a lot of respect for him with the way he's always run defense, but it doesn't change in terms of LaFleur's going to call the game. He's going to try to attack whatever defenses that he's looking for, because it's not just cover 2. They're getting a lot of man, a lot of cover 3. So they're doing a good job mixing it up. But so a call's going to go in, and he's just got to be able to decipher what's happening post-snap and get the ball to where it needs to go, whether it's being aggressive or short.
With Mike, when Zach obviously was starting previously, he was down on the field. He moved back up because Mike White didn't care really where he lined up. Now that Zach's back, is Mike going back on the field, or is Mike going to stay up top?
Mike's staying up top.
Staying up top.
Yeah.
Robert, what's the situation with your backup quarterbacks right now, and what do you anticipate for Sunday?
Right now, we're looking for Josh Johnson will be the backup. So you get unlimited COVID call-ups when things like that happen. So that's why he's able to be elevated. We're not closing the door on Joe because of the holiday and all that stuff. There's still a chance where he can travel on. There's a bunch of rules with COVID, so there's a possibility he could be there Sunday. But we're rolling with Josh. Unless with this holiday season something else happens, we're just leaving that door open for Joe to on Sunday. But
Rob?
expecting Josh.
Sorry. I think that something that's perplexing to a lot of us and some fans is that you traded for Joe, an unvaccinated quarterback, knowing that there are certain risks involved in that, and different protocols that he has to go through. And sure enough, he was unavailable for those first 2 games and more than likely not available this week. So could you just explain the thought process, balancing those risks with making that trade and giving up a piece of draft capital for?
Yeah, I'll stand by this forever. When someone offers a 6th-round pick for a player of Joe's caliber, to me there is no risk. You're playing with house money. I've said it before, you can trade back one spot and get that 6th-round pick back in a hurry. So I know we look at draft capital, but that's an easy one. That was an easy decision in terms of here's a proven quarterback, a Super Bowl quarterback, a record holder, a guy who can settle an offense if he needs to step in there, which he proved on Sunday. He did a phenomenal job against Miami's pressure system. So that in itself was worth its weight in gold. But so as far as the draft capital, the thinking, like it was a no-brainer. I mean, a 6th-round pick is not hard to recoup.
So Mike is definitely out, there's no two negatives.
Mike's out.
What about Denzel? What's the latest with him?
He's back in the building. He's got to ramp up in terms of getting. He's got to clear some stuff from a COVID protocol standpoint because it's been a couple of weeks now. So he's got to. There's a lot of conditioning and all that's got to take place to make sure that he's good health-wise and that there's no residual effects from COVID.
Robert, Elijah's emergence here has kind of coincided with Zach being out. Right? It seems like maybe he's benefited from some of the other quarterbacks. Do you worry at all that Zach coming back might slow Elijah's development, that path he's on?
No, because the production is one thing. The production is a result of the fact that Elijah has been getting better, and I think Elijah will be the first person to tell you that his alignment has been a lot better, his get off has been a lot better, his route running has been a lot better, his understanding of zone and man and separation has been a lot better, and so for Elijah, keep doing the same things, keep getting better in that same regard. Now, if the ball gets to you, that gets to you. That's not going to be the definition of how he's been getting better. What he's been able to do is when the ball is in his hands, he's shown that he's a heck of a playmaker. If you remember the Denver game, ball in his hands on the jet sweep, and he gets knocked out of the game, where I guarantee you now he won't take that hit. He'll know exactly how to maneuver with the ball in his hands to avoid that big hit. But so Elijah's been getting better outside the ball get into his hands, and so whether it's in his hands or not, he's still a lot of room to get better. So
Robert, you made reference to how the offense has kind of played these last 4 weeks or so, and obviously they've played that way without Zach under center. The guys, line, receivers, all that, I mean, they've seen how this offense works and they've experienced offensive success now. Is there any worry that if you go back to Zach and the success does not follow and he struggles and the offense starts to sputter again, that there could be issues?
no, and I say that because there's obviously the quarterback is the big position. It's the most important position in football. He's always got the ball in his hands, but I think there's also an understanding in terms with Zach, in terms just getting better, just keep the main thing, and understanding how to play quarterback in this league. And I think that, like I said, he was getting better as the season had gone on. New England, we felt like he was about to pop off, and so for him, just get back into the groove, get the ball to his playmakers the best way he knows how, and just trust that the rest will take care of itself.
By the same token, do you have to talk to him about not trying to do too much? Because I'm sure he wants to prove, hey, I can run this offense.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's. I think it's the same for all of them. It's for any player. if you're focused so much on the results, you're really going to screw it up. And he doesn't have to do anything the other guys did. He has to do what he can do, and trust that if he operates at his highest, to the best of his ability, we'll be fine. And if he's trying to chase stats and prove that he can move the offense like they can, he's going to miss the big picture. And that's focus, keep the main thing, take one play at a time, go through your progressions, get the ball where it needs to go, and play football.
If it were to come down to that point, who would you go to in an emergency situation, the quarterback?
I'm sorry.
Emergency quarterback, like who would you go to in that situation if you needed to?
If Zach was not unable to
If
go.
Zach was out, Johnson,
Oh,
Flacco
if-
didn't come back, yeah, like.
So if all four of them were out? Oh, man, I'll keep that one, I'll keep our secret quarterback a secret.
How did LDT do, and is he going to go again?
You know, for first game back in 2 years, thought he did a good job. Obviously, there's always going to be plays that he's going to want back, but again, 2 years without playing football, and or at least in a game. So excited for him to get another op and another crack. Expecting him to be better this week. So.
What jumps out to you about Houston?
First off, on the offensive side of the ball, their offense, Tyrod's back, and when Tyrod's been quarterback, they beat Jacksonville. I think they put 37 on them. They were 14-14 at halftime with Cleveland in week 2 before he gets hurt. He comes back against Miami that struggled a little bit, but then they beat Tennessee. So he's clearly winning. They're winning football games with him under center. He is a problem. I've always had a lot of respect for Tyrod. He's getting the ball where it needs to go. He can scramble. He can do all those things. They have a disciplined style of offense in terms of the way they marry their run and their pass game. So it's a well-run offense, and Tyrod's doing a really good job running it. Defensively, I've already spoken about Lovey. I mean, it's so much respect for him, and a lot of the principles that we teach, all from that same Lovey, Monty Kiffin school of football. They're doing a really good job mixing things up. They've got a young defense, very active front. Justin Reed, I got a chance to coach his brother. He's pretty damn good, and they're active. They're a good group. So.
With, what changes in the run game from the standpoint of, Michael's been so valuable for you guys, he leads you in scrimmages. What changes with the other two guys that are now jumping in?
No, nothing changes really. Because Ty Johnson can run the ball. Tevin Coleman knows the system like the back of his hand, and those two guys, obviously with P. Ryan and Austin Walter having possible opportunities, those guys have been here. They know how to do it. But if you just looked at Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman, wanted to focus on those two, those guys have proven they can run in this system. Tevin Coleman has proven throughout his entire career that he can run in this system. So I know those two are very excited for an opportunity. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.